Parenting is not easy, but it can be even more difficult for Black families who are trying to navigate how to help their kids deal with racism. In today's Kidsburgh, there's a new workshop to help called Parenting While Black, based at the University of Pittsburgh Center on Race and Social Problems.
On his team, he is young too.
8-year-old Aiden Williams loves to read, especially when the characters in the books look like him. His mom, Akira Saunders, tries to surround her son with positive images of African Americans, whether they're historical or fictitious.
So he can see himself in positive things, and so that he will always place himself in positive outcomes as long as he puts in the work. If he's going to put in the work, and then he's going to be on the correct path, there's nothing he can't do.
This is one of many topics Akira discussed with other Black parents in the Parenting While Black workshops. For 8 weeks, the parents met on Zoom for 90 minutes a session, with 5 schools last spring and 3 new schools this fall. Dr. James Hughley and Cecily Davis with the Center on Race and Social Problems at Pitt created Parenting While Black to take the research on this topic and provide best practices to parents while letting them share their experiences with each other.
But when you're talking about the effects of racism, there's no what to expect when you're expecting racism. And our parents have been looking for support, and we wanted to provide it.
The workshops address positive racial identity, helping children cope with discrimination, healing racial trauma, and increasing educational involvement.
They did give us tools to be able to talk to his teacher, to be able to, and not in a confrontational manner, but just so we can meet understanding, so we can see whether or not, what is this about? Is it bias, or does my son really miss that period?
Dr. Hughley and Davis know what it's like from their own personal experiences to parent while Black, watching the news repeatedly showing the deaths of people like George Floyd and Leon Ford can be traumatic.
It could be my brother, it could be my father, it could be my husband, and as well as my child. And so as someone who is a parent and a wife and a mother and a daughter, it just is really a tough time to figure that process out. How do you explain these things to your family?
Most kids can't help but be aware of current events.
I do see other Black people on news, like when there was this Black Lives Matter stuff. Yeah, that's what I saw.
Research from Pitt's Center on Race and Social Problems found 51% of Black youth they surveyed had experienced racism by the time they were in 10th grade.
Parents are left to try to figure that out and grapple with that and help their children work through it.
Now, the Parenting While Black program is happening this fall at Manchester Academic Charter School and the Neighborhood Academy, and more schools to be determined. If you're interested in having it offered at your school, we have a link at KDKA.com/Kidsburgh. You'll also find a link to Kidsburgh.org with many important resources to help parents do the best they can raising their children.